screwed that. Oh. Hi, everybody. It's been a while, huh? And it's truly been, it's just been a good minute. And forgive me, I developed something. I thought it was pretty much a cold. Over in the last few months, I've had a problem with the cough that I can't get rid of. I'm working on some medicine and all that. Then work has been really fun as of late. But this video is going to be more focused just on how I'm doing the next probably 4 to 5 videos. Which is going to be just an exclamation on the first 4 to 5, I guess. This one will be what's been happening and all that. And just, I guess, try to catch up. And then the next 3 will be kind of like, I want to say it's kind of like storytell, but also just talking in general. This is just going to be audio over the videos I make, just for a little bit until I'm kind of waiting to hold on. Sorry about that. I'll have to mute to when I'm trying to not cough, but I end up coughing anyway. Okay, so the gameplay you're going to be watching from here on is just going to be me playing on the controller, mainly because the DLC will be coming out here soon, so I kind of want to try to catch up to the point of where I could probably access the DLC. And if I remember reading it correctly, it's going to be, you have to be like pretty far into the game to where, like, I think you have to be at the Earth Tree, but I'm not 100% on all that. So for a minute now, the gameplay you're going to be watching is some of the most painful to watch. Man, I'm trying to get back into the game. I haven't played in a good minute, and it's going to be, it was real rough for me. Even going back to controller, it was rough because I could not figure, I just couldn't figure it out. I couldn't get timing right. I got overconfident in a lot of things. It was just not a good.
Apologies, but I've idled long enough. As fellow tarnished, we must each follow our own guidance, down whatever road takes us to the throne of Elden Lord. Apologies, as fellow down whatever.
It's just nothing was going right in the first 2 videos, honestly. You're gonna see a lot of that in what's up to come. But I do make progress. I actually make a lot of progress. And then there are enemies I just do not fight because I cannot kill them yet. Or at least, you know, I am incompetent enough to not be able to kill them yet. I'm seeing a lot of that too. You're gonna see me. There are gonna be a lot of times where I'm just, you know, standing in one place because I'm trying to think on where to go next, and trying to memorize in the castle, like, okay, this way to go that way to go this way. So you're gonna catch me standing around a lot. Um, I believe at this moment in time, I'm just running around looking, just trying to figure out what I was doing, catching up with myself, catching up with the controls and all. I believe right there I messed up and used the Nestus by accident. Maybe I didn't catch if my health was up already. But basically, when I when I was gone for however long it was, I know it's been like 2, almost 3 months, maybe 4 months since the last video. Okay. Um, while I was gone, I guess it was mainly because of the work at first, because I was getting given extra shifts to work, so I lessened my time on games just so I could rest. And after it was a good while to do so. And then I was training somebody while in the middle of all of that. Now, training doesn't necessarily take so long, or it should take long. At least I believe so. There's death. Maybe I should put a death counter because I die so much in these videos. But training doesn't necessarily take too long, but I believe it should take long. People up above try to push out and say, "Oh yeah, just qualify them as much as you can," to the point where we can start putting them on the schedule, so we can fill these slots that need to be filled. Right now, I can agree to that just so it give me and the rest of my coworkers a break. There's the second death. Already lost 2,000. Yep. Me shaking the screen like that was me saying basically, how did I die to that? How could I let that happen? Why did that happen to me? Why did I let that happen to me? Things and so forth. But I want them trained and pushed out to put back on the schedule to fill in the empty slot that's causing every other worker to do extra time because there is no one in that slot yet. So, so as I'm training, the main problem with it, I don't train for very long because I don't keep my trainee for very long. They normally will be assigned to someone else, or they will be put on with us for only a certain amount of time before they can put them, so they can get them used to the schedule of another person, or until they can figure out how to put them on schedule with the other person. So they're stuck with us for a little bit, and then from there on, I don't keep very many with me for more than about a couple days. And within those couple of days, I try to instill all the physical labor, all the little neat tips and tricks that I can. But that's hard to do because a new trainee, any new trainee, any job, if someone tells you to do something in 3 days, like just try to info dump you in 3 days, how are you going to retain that later when you're being told and taught something a little different, if not completely different, by someone else who is considered your trainer? It's a hard thing to go back and forth with, and I had to deal with that a couple times. And after dealing with the work thing, this was maybe the first month and a half and all that, trying to deal with all that, trying to keep up with the job and all. And I work till 7 p.m. so I'm not getting off till late, and then I'm trying to I'm trying to rest before the next shift. Which, granted, I have a lot of time to do, if you think about it, but just sometimes it just doesn't feel like it. Feeling and reality are two different things, of course, but as I said, it just doesn't feel like it sometimes. Especially if you're going through a rough week of work. And it's expected the trainees that will screw up. It's always expected of them. A trainee is more than likely to screw up, no matter who it is or what it is. They're not going to get everything right. They're not going to get all the mixtures, settings, everything. All of it's going to be... all of it, it's just going to be all get screwed up. That being said, we had to deal with that a lot. A lot of screw ups. We had to shut down our line specifically because of said screw ups sometimes. Other times there were good teaching points to those screw ups on why you do this, and if you do this, this is what will happen. And when something does happen, we'll tell them, okay, now this is why I told you. If you do it like this, this will happen. Now do you see what I mean by what this will look like, or how this will act, how it sounds, so far and so forth, and all that, so that they will try to ingrain it so they don't mess up again later. Now, we had to deal with that for a few times. A few things, a few of the people came and went. They sometimes didn't want to stay with our line, so they eventually moved over to a different line. That's okay. It's okay to do. It's not a bad thing. I just feel like if they didn't want to be in our position, now if they told the employer where they wanted to be and still stuck them with us, but eventually they could be moved on their own, of their own accord, then why have them train them with us to, for lack of a better word, to waste our time with training them, teaching them, and having us to overwatch them so that they don't cause too much trouble. So I had that's my personal opinion of the whole ordeal about it. That's neither here or there. Everyone has their own opinion on it, on those kind of things. But my whole thing about training is just, I want to train you in every aspect and detail that I know of that will help you. That will eventually help you get to the point that when you're working by yourself, that you don't need me or anyone else to be around, unless it's a two-man job, If it's anything other than that, that's really up to you. But the thing is, I will know that you can do it by yourself. That I don't have to be worried about you doing it. And along with that training goes with how I train a certain person is I train them on how I kind of do things, mainly just because of the main reasoning would be, how do I say it? I want to train you in the ways that I normally do things. So basically, I want to train you as if you're going to be doing it yourself, all by yourself, and no one else around. Even though technically we'll always have someone else around, I want to teach you to do it by yourself. So, in the case that your coworker calls out or doesn't no-show, and things such as that, and you're left by yourself, that you're not left feeling vulnerable or feeling like you're going to be overworked because you're by yourself. So I train not to work as a team, but to work by yourself. And you can use all the things that you are trained to do, and you can apply them to a teamwork kind of thing. I lift this 50-pound box by myself. As an example, as I say, I can lift this 50-pound box by myself. Okay, that's fine. But if we get someone else on the outside to hold up the other end, all right, okay, cool. I just cuts my workload down, and I'm not killing myself over it, right? I'm not slaving over it, and it's all fine. It's all good now. And it makes it easier, and it makes the mindset of working as well easier, I believe. Because if you get to the point where you're used to thinking like, oh, I gotta work by myself, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, and then someone comes and helps you without you asking, and they just help and say, I can do this, if you want to go do that, I go for it. I'm like, oh, okay. It makes your mind, I believe it makes your mind, your state of mind feel a little bit better, a little bit relieved, thinking like, oh, okay, alright, so I don't have to do all this now, I just have to go do this. Alright, cool. And then you feel just a little bit more alleviated, because now you know you don't have to do everything. But I'd say it's always good to keep in the mindset that you're always going to be doing something by yourself, no matter what. Just so you don't get complacent, well, you get more complacent when you're by yourself anyway, and you get more familiar. Not here or there. So that's how I train. I just train to get them used to themselves, used to working by themselves. And that went on for maybe about a month and a half, 2 months. And I think the training period, I believe, is want them done in like 2-3 weeks, maybe a month worth of training, I think. But I just don't like how that's done, so I normally try to tell my trainee, or I'll tell the employer when they ask me, do you think he's ready? Do you think she's ready? I'll tell them no. I do not think they're ready just yet. They're starting to get everything down. They have a good idea of what's going on, but they do not have the experience just yet of doing it by themselves. Because when I was trained a few years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, in the same job, I haven't been at my job for very long, but I'm already being praised by some that I do a good job teaching, or that I'm pretty good by myself, or I'm okay. I hear I'm good. I think that I'm just doing my job properly. That's how I see it. But the point is, I haven't been there very long. Sorry. I haven't been there for very long, so the whole thing about being good at my job, I don't necessarily take to heart. I accept the compliment, but I don't take it to heart considering that I've only been there for about 4 or 5 years, which is a long time, but I don't think it's long enough to deserve such praise as the teaching very well or things and so forth. I'm not a great teacher. The thing that taught me the best was, as everyone will say, experience taught me. I didn't know how to do a lot of these things until they actually happened. Which is why a lot of times when I'm showing a trainee something, I will purposely, and sometimes I will tell them, sometimes I won't tell them, I will have them purposely screw something up. Such as, if they plug up a line or plug up a grinder, I will purposely, or I sometimes will tell them how to do it, just so that they know how to recover from it and how to prevent it. If they don't know how to do it, they don't know how to prevent it, is what I think. You're going to see me fight this giant a lot, by the way. If you haven't seen, I've died so many times. Just trying to get used to everything again. Sometimes to this giant, sometimes to that little army sitting outside on the front lawn there, in that little courtyard area. Other to the rats, and then other to just things I know I probably shouldn't be fighting, or things I shouldn't be doing, but I do anyway. But a great amount of progress will be made. I think these first 2 episodes are just going to be struggle to remember. So, as far as teaching or training goes, that's what I've been doing for the most part. Now that just went on, like I said, for maybe about 1.5, 2 months. Went to 1 or 2 and trainees, and then them being sent away to someone else. And then because they've been sent to like a night crew, my shift has to deal with the aftermath of the new guy on the night crew making mistakes and having those mistakes transfer over to the day shift, with me and my coworker having to clean up after them, pretty much. Which is normal. Some people will say it's the opposite depending on where you work. Sometimes it's the night shift cleaning up after the day shift. In my case, it'll be, and I know a lot of people will fight me no matter who it is, where it is. And even if I were to say this to some of my own co-workers, they'd probably fight me on it as well. They will say, but all shifts will normally say, I clean up after you. No, we don't. You don't clean up after me. We clean up after you, kind of thing, And it just goes back and forth. But that's how I feel. In our case, we clean up after the night crew, and a lot of times, and any more than these last 2 months, has been very true. We've been cleaning up after the night crew. And there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it, because it's the higher up that supervises our line, our area of work. The supervisor has occasionally in the last month been apologizing to us on the day shift for leaving a mess, leaving something broken, telling us something broke, and that we have to deal with the aftermath of what they have done. So we've had to deal with that a lot. They have broken machinery so many times. They have left minor to major messes a lot of time. Very few, more rare to get a minor mess than a major mess. where we've had to. There have been more than 2 to 3, maybe 4 days where we couldn't start the machines early in the morning, or even if they were running, we would shut them down early in the morning because of all the problems that we were having to fix after the night shift. Meaning that, well, it's pretty much it's self-explanatory. It's just we clean up after them because they made a mess. We fix things after they break them. So I don't know what else to say to that. That's just how it is. They have broken machinery, plug things up to the point where either mechanics need to be called, or electricians have to be called, or machinery that has to be replaced, leaving our line down, or leaving a couple things down. Maybe just having one thing down, but we could still run on something else. Have it bypassed to something else. But it's just been one of those times. Only recently has it gotten better to some degree. Not much better, but it is what it is. You take what you can get, right? Right here, you'll start seeing me get a little more bolder and a little more cautious as I attack and fight. Meaning I'm getting everything back together, all my old skills, all how I used to fight. Everything's coming back. I'm getting better again with each death. Groundhog Day, and I think it's Edge of Tomorrow or something like that. Both those movies. Die, you come back, you get a little better each time. And then I got sick, which I think it was either a cough or a flu. Something was going around at the time, and I didn't know what it was. I didn't know if it was a stomach flu, or if it was just a flu, if it was just a cold. But I just managed to get something. And, well, I had the initial symptoms, runny nose, fever, sometimes maybe a sore throat from the coughing. Then maybe a month later, I kicked most of the symptoms away, the fever and all that. They kind of died after like 2 to 3 weeks. But after 4 weeks, after a whole month of sickness, or not even sickness, just a cough alone, a full month goes by. I still coughing. 2 months go by. I'm still coughing. And even now, almost at 3 months, I'm still coughing. I went to the doctor a couple days ago, maybe a few days ago, and they told me I could have whatever I had or still have. They didn't necessarily tell me that I didn't have anything. They also didn't tell me I did have anything. So, inconclusive diagnosis at the moment. So, I don't know what I have. If it is anything horrible at all. They do say I may have a variant. I may have a variant of the 20. But it's a more weakened, I guess, a weakened, mild mannered variant of the 20. That it doesn't present in like 101 degree fevers or whatever else the 20 gave you when it was about. I only caught it once, and I don't know. I don't really remember too much. I just remember my head heating up to 101, and that was a fun time because at the time it was in the summer, so I thought I was just overheating from work. And being in the sun, I kept thinking that, oh, well, I just need to drink some water. Just gotta rest. Once I got home, I sat down and I could feel that, that euphoric head floaty feeling. I could think of, I laid my head back against the couch and thought, oh, everything's just feels so nice right now. It's all so floaty. So on and so forth. All the way up until I thought, why do I feel so hot? What is this feeling? I didn't take any medicine, so why am I feeling so euphoric? So I decided to, for some reason, and I don't know why, I decided to take my temperature and suddenly realized I have been sitting at 101, like 101.3, 101.5, or something like that. And the 101 are close to 102. And when I saw the number, I thought, oh no, oh shit, this isn't good. How long has my brain been cooking? Because it was a good minute before I got home that my brain was just my head was all hot and I had this euphoric feeling. See right there, that's a good example of what I was talking about earlier. How I stuttered left and right, I'm trying to think, okay, this way's that way, this way's this way. Do I go back up this way? I can't go back up this way, so I have to go back this way and around. Where does this lead me? Does this lead me where? All that. I am not gonna go on that bridge yet. I know what happens the minute you activate the little trigger going up and to the right. I know what will come out. So I'm not doing that yet. But yeah, I got home suddenly. For some reason decided to check my temperature. When I saw 101, 102 or something like that, I know it was 100. I broke 3 digits. And I was like that for a few hours. I thought, oh, this no good. This no good. Yeah, this no good. This isn't good. I probably need to cool off my head for a second. So I stood up, stumbled. I couldn't walk straight anymore because I was just so weak at that point after relaxing. But I thought, oh man, am I even going to make it to the freezer? Because I was trying to make it to the freezer to, one, get an ice pack to put it on my head. And 2, because I just wanted to put my head in the freezer to try to cool my head down. Just slightly. Just long enough for me to get the cold pack and just throw it on my head. And that's what I did. I stumbled, and I managed to make it to the freezer. Opened up the freezer, throw my head in there, and just let it sit for a bit. And then eventually I managed to just pass out because I was, 1, so hot, and 2, so tired after I managed to cool my head down just a little bit. But that was a fun time with it. Doctors were explaining to me how in this month alone, there has been a small increase in And the 20, the 20 started infecting people again. I've been saying the 20 and it's not the right one. I may have been saying the wrong thing. I may be cooked now. Hold up.
Oh, hello. Glad to see you're safe. I've come into some
I
fine
have been saying the wrong
goods.
one. Not
Only
the
it
20.
turns out I can't use a
It's
one
not
of
the
them.
20. It's the 19 I'm talking
Perhaps
about. The
you'd
19.
like to take them off my hands.
So I have a mild variant, a mild mannered variant of the 19, from what I understand. That is what they told me. And they didn't tell me I have it. They said there's a chance I may have it.
Oh, hello.
Um, it had me take like a breathalyzer little thing where I had to blow into a tube and um, I had to blow into a tube to, I guess, see how much lung capacity I have. You know, just blow as hard and as fast as you can blow into the machine. No comments, no innuendos. I know they're coming. And they just wanted to see how much I can use or how much I am able to use. And I had to do it twice, real quick. And from the results they told me, I'm only using 57% of my lungs. I don't exactly know if that's good or bad because I don't know. I'm not a doctor, so I don't know if we are supposed to be using 100% of our lungs. If we are, then if we are using 100% of my lungs, then I am only using half my lung capacity due to this cough or whatever may be aggravating the cough or what caused this cough to go on for so long. So at this moment in time, this is kind of how the videos are going to go because I don't want to try to control the cough while I'm playing, and then I know it would be more exciting to watch me play than have to try to cover up my cough as I'm fighting a boss or something. And then get killed by said boss because I'm trying to cover the cough to not kill you guys' eardrums. And speaking of killing, I didn't realize how badly these ballistas would hurt. Because I don't remember them hitting me before. I don't think I ever been hit by them before. Walking out of the tower like that when the bonfire just got clipped right there, just got sent back. You know, return to sender type shit. There may be a bit of silence in each of these videos because I don't know what to talk, where to go to from one section to another. So, and then, like I said, I got sick. I'm still dealing with the cough, with whatever, I don't know what it is. They didn't rule out bronchitis. We ruled out pneumonia because you didn't hear fluid build up in my lungs. We didn't. I already said it. And we didn't rule out D19, the 19. So they just put me on some other stuff and see if it's gonna work. And if it doesn't, then I may or may not get tested for the 19 again at some point in time. I haven't been tested for it yet either. Let's see. Sickness. Okay. I'm trying to think of something else. I'm trying to follow the timeline of what I've been down. Pretty much. Then the next thing I was dealing with was with work again. With, new person and all that. That we just had to deal with their shenanigans. I want to say, was this? I wasn't paying attention. Oh no, this is not the moment. You guys are gonna see a moment where you guys are just gonna see a moment where I screw up very badly and lose a lot of souls for it. And I just sit there for a good minute because I'm in pain with how much soul I just lost. Like any good Souls player. My bad. One of the shenanigans is that somebody from work did something that would probably put him in a special class of dumb. Because what they did was they did something and ended up losing not a major appendage of their body, but they lost let's say let's say for the sake of secrecy, we will say they lost. It wasn't too important, or at least I don't think it was important to them, since they did it. We'll say they lost part of a toe. They stuck their toe where it shouldn't have been. Ended up getting cut off. Part of it, not all of it. Not down to the base of the bone. Just they took the very tip of it off. Not skinned off. No, they took bone with it. So like just a little, like the front joint or whatever you want to call it, the joint not connected to the foot. You know, like how your fingers have multiple joints, from the fingernail to the first joint to the nut to the second joint of the knuckle. Alright. From the fingernail joint up to the second joint up to your knuckles. Well, let's say they just lost that first part of the nail. They basically lost the entire toenail. And that's all because they did not follow procedure. They did not shut things down. They did not turn off all power. They left it running and ended up losing a good bit of their toe. For whatever reason, I don't know. I'm saying the toe is the reason. Toe in quotations. For whatever reason, that was their choice of losing something. We do not know why. No one knows why. And because it contained blood, you know, they're not aliens. At least I don't think so. With that kind of mindset, I could believe that they were aliens, because they thought differently than all of us. But it was a very hard thing to swallow. So that just prompted us to be hounded by the upper. Oh, yeah, right here. You see how close I was to getting my souls back, to die just at the foot of them. This is where I said I would take like a minute or two to sit there and just ponder my whole reason for playing the game again. And I just sit there for a minute, contemplating everything. So we're hounded by the upper management because of what he did and why he didn't, turn things off when he should have. And we've been being watched the last month and a half because of what he did. They don't say they're watching us, but when they're walking back and forth crossing our area so many times, you start picking up on, what, I think they're watching us. We didn't used to see them over here so many times, and now they're coming in droves. So, and it just all comes down to that. Doing something stupid. still don't know why. Alright. I believe that catches everything up on what's been happening. Or at least why it's been so long. And as I said, until I kind of lose this cough, I will kind of be doing like this type of video where audio is in post over my gameplay. And as I said, I switched back to controller to try and get caught up for the Shadow of the Earth Tree DLC pops. So I just want to get up there enough to try and get caught up to the Earth Tree. I'm going to do my best. I'm not 100%. I'm not a completionist, you know. But I'm going to do my best to do the dungeons as much as I can. I'm trying to like traverse the map as much as I can. If I miss something, so be it. It is what it is, right? I did my best to try, and that's all that's going to count. When the time comes for to do Millennia, I will not be using a sword that does blood, that will cause blood loss. I feel like that's such a cheeky way of killing her. I mean, it could be debated, you know, because she could regain life with every hit. That there's no point in, you know, handicapping myself by not doing such things. But when it comes to her, the thing is, I may switch to it anyway when I finally get frustrated enough. When I finally get frustrated enough to say, okay, you know what? I'm just going to well, I'm just going to say, I blanked out for a second. I'm just going to say, you know what? I just want to get it over with. I just want to beat her and move on. When I get to that point, I'll switch to a sword, Uchi, or the other swords, I forgot what they are, that we'll call blood loss, and then I'll just use them. But for the most part, I'll keep with the Uchi to do other things. I may keep it to kill dragons, though. So, yeah. Caught up for the next couple months with how much I did not put out. So, I guess I'm going to end the first episode here then. Just be around for the rest.